and welcome to Here for the Story. I'm Sherry.
And I'm Lauren, and we're coming to you from the quintessential small town of Oakdale, California. This is Here for the Story, a cozy podcast about books, creativity, and connection.
Each week, we'll be sharing what we're reading, what we're working on, and chatting with authors, creatives, and fascinating people from our little corner of the world and beyond.
Today, we're opening our books, but we are talking about the art behind the covers we love.
So we picked some recognizable books and did a little digging into the artists and designers who created the covers. Let's dig into it, but first, I want to know what you're drinking. I want to know what you've been reading. It's been a hot minute since we've last recorded.
I've been doing a lot, but none in the source of reading. Currently drinking.
Yes.
Out of my summer cup because the season is ending.
Oh, what's that?
It is so ending. It's like 110 degrees and I'm ready for it to be over.
That's true.
It's fall in my brain.
We've declared.
I declare it, and here's why. Second of all, cold brew. And then I started taking cowboy colostrum because I got sold by the internet.
Your influence?
I was influenced. I'm not even going to call it that. I'm going to call it
you
sold.
Don't want that
We're going to call it sold.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? I did it out of spite. And second of all, my husband asked me about it, which is like rarity. I'm kind of worried he's like being like subsold in whatever internet browser he's in because he doesn't have social media. But he was like, have you heard about cowboy colostrum? And I was like, have you been on my social media? Because every time I open it, it tries to sell me on it. He's like, I want to try it. So I was like,
talking about it. It's been listening.
I have not been talking about it. I've been like ignoring the ads on purpose. But
it's there.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, it's not coming up now that we talk about it.
It will come up on your feed.
It's going to come up on my
But I also honestly have zero idea what it's supposed to do. Like,
smart.
I feel like there's like one commercial. I usually, the guy's like, when I was taking my girlfriend's drink, and then I like swipe up and I'm like, I don't want to see it. But I started taking that, and then I also started taking Primal Queen, which I totally got sold on after the course of months. Like, I've been trying to get sold on Primal Queen forever. I think it knows that I have problems, and that is either a placebo effect or it's actually working because my brain function, my ability, like so many different things. So I guess I'm stacking some supplements in my coffee.
Supplements?
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's what I'm drinking.
Seems healthy.
Ready for the reading list? We're talking about books. Okay, anyway.
Anywho, tell me what you've been reading.
I have been reading for a while now, actually. Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen.
Love.
Yeah, so
that's fun.
I saw a commercial for the movie that's coming out, which we know there's already movies out, all this stuff. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to read a classic.
I like that for you.
And I'm giving myself a lot of time because I'm not going to lie. The vocabulary is very hard for me to digest, especially I usually listen to it in my car, come from the world and start listening to it. And they have so many big words, but I'm hoping it's expanding my vocabulary. We'll see.
Totally.
I'm still kind of in Fever Dream by Elise, which I started almost a month ago now.
Yeah.
But I'm also wavering because the main character is said to be someone who everybody hates in previous books. And I think I want to hate him first. Because I want to go back and read the other ones. But
you haven't read the other ones?
I haven't read the other ones. And now I'm like, I've read the other ones, but I don't remember him in the ones that I've read. Okay. And so I'm supposed to read, but that's like 8 books. So we'll see if I get there. I don't know.
For the one that doesn't like to reread books?
No.
That's a trouble.
I can skip the ones I've read, but I have to read the others. Yeah, I think in totality, there's like 8 books or something like that. There might be 8 books that I still need to read because she has like 3 to 4 books each series, and this is her 4th series.
Wow.
So whatever the math on that is.
It's a lot of time.
But they're quick.
Okay.
Have you read any of hers?
Nope.
Okay. They're also spicy, and then you can like skip pages. And then I just started listening to the Lost Bronte because I was like feeling so good about Sense and Sensibility that I was like, I'm gonna listen to this.
You're on a journey,
which is actually a really cool book. It comes out August 18th. Okay. But so she's living with her uncle. It's in that time. Sorry, I don't know the time.
Like Regency era?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she starts collecting Emily Bronte's stuff, like her desk.
Ooh.
And then starts pretending to be writing as like a secondary Bronte sister.
Cool.
And selling it. So that's as far as I'm at.
That sounds really fun.
Yeah. It is fun.
I like
it's
that.
Kind of, yeah. And then I just finished this book. Are you ready?
Yes.
I actually did this one kind of quickly. It's called A Penance with Crows by Shannon Morgan. I've been trying to go off the wall because trending books right now are kind of irritating me. So I was like, this one, and the cover is wild. It's black with trees. Picture you're laying on the forest floor and there's trees that are going up and it's all black, right? Now make everything that's colored green. Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's kind of like this spooky. So they're on this
You're
island.
in the fall vibe.
I'm trying to get there.
You're
but
totally with that. That's so fall.
It was
coded.
Honestly such a cool book.
I don't know anything that it's about.
Yeah,
Sounds cool.
It's told from this perspective of this lady, and she basically has a weird connection with the crows, not mystical or magical or anything like that, but the crows basically tell her when people are coming to her cottage, and everyone hates the crows.
They're protecting her.
But she loves the crows.
Yes.
And if you're in our weird group chat, you know how much we like birds, apparently. So it's all this vibe, but the crows are good. But then she's also got this connection to these teenage girls, and every single one of them has a story, but you're hearing their story from her perspective. So you're going through, there's all these murders that occur. There's all these townspeople, like just and then there's like the town or the island is so small. The guy the police officer has to come over on a ship or a boat.
Yeah, ferried.
Yeah, to get there. They don't have an actual, and the whole island is kind of basically overwhelmed by the Catholic Church, which is kind of just like an interesting take, right? Mm-hmm. Like you said earlier about something else. But so she is not a fan, but there's, she's not against it, but she doesn't believe in all the stuff that they believe. But then there, the people who are egregious about the way that they feel about their beliefs and how they push it on people. So it's just this really human dynamic.
Yeah.
Centric.
What's the genre?
It's probably.
Is it just like a contemporary?
It's probably like mystery.
Oh, there's murders in it.
Yeah, mystery thriller. I don't know. I have been trying to kind of choose books at random that are not super popular but seem decent.
But it doesn't have magical elements into it. It's
zero magic. Very regular real world. It is very interesting. Yeah.
Cool.
And the murders aren't gruesome or anything grotesque.
You're just trying to find the murder.
Well, people just keep popping up dead and you're like, oh. Okay.
What is happening?
This person's dead now.
Interesting.
Yeah, and there's some demonic notations in there, so if you're not into that.
Yeah.
But it's more of in my opinion, what would you call that? When something happens and it's almost accidental. What's the term for that? I don't know. Yeah, almost coincidental.
Okay.
So interesting. Yeah.
I'm interested.
I would say it
sounds like a good fall read.
It's a great fall read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love crows too. My friend Julie, shout out to Julie if you're listening. She's super into crows, ravens. She always has a bunch of different artworks of them. I need to introduce this book. Okay.
So what are you reading, Sherry?
Well, I was just going to ask, is that your books? You're done?
That's what I got so far. I'm actually surprised I was able to, because I was feeling like I wasn't reading a lot.
You clearly were.
I guess. I don't know.
Impressive.
Yeah.
I like it.
Compared to some of the people we know, I don't feel like I read enough.
Wow.
I get texts sometimes from people and they're like, finish this book. This is such a good book. And I'm like, you need to go away, bro. You're making me feel inferior. But I love them. So they can eat. They can read all they want.
They can eat and read.
Why do we look so big now?
We are zoomed back. It's okay. Okay, so I'm drinking tea. Tree is my tree. Is that a Freudian slip?
Tea.
Tree is my favorite. Tea. I have a citrus mint tea today. I am trying to get back to drinking more tea in the morning because I kind of went away for a little bit and had some coffee, but not caffeinated coffee, decaf coffee.
You were having decaf coffee? That's shocking.
I always drink decaf coffee.
Really?
Yeah, I never have caffeinated coffee. It's always decaf.
Well, I know that, but I just didn't think you drank coffee at all.
Oh, no, I do. And especially in the wintertime when I'm feeling it's mostly for the creamer, I'm going to be honest, because I like a good.
I know, yeah. I know a few people that drink coffee for the black, and I'm like, you're weird. It's okay, though.
I think if I was going to drink coffee black, I would probably drink a really good caffeinated, because most decaf is a little bitter. That's just fact. Okay, so anyway.
Is decaf not bitter?
Decaf is bitter. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I feel like I have to have creamer in it.
I feel like coffee is bitter.
Yeah, well, coffee is too, but like you could make a really good pour over coffee that's probably better, but it's usually caffeinated. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just swallowed
Do you
air.
need water?
Nope. My books. Okay, so recently I read our books for book club. So I read Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon Maguire and The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow. Did you read either of this?
I'm halfway through Alex E. Harrow's.
Okay.
And I have not finished, but I don't know where I'm at. I'm almost done with the other one.
Okay. I was weirdly surprised by both.
Okay.
We had some information. You know how like information goes in your ear about certain things and then you have a preconceived notion about it. And
Almost like a fear.
yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to like them or not.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them were very different than anything that I've read. Especially The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow, which we're going to talk about in book club. But I will just say the way that that book is set up is very interesting. And I could almost like, it's not necessarily that the writing was, out of this world wild, but I just really loved the premise of how the story was told. So that's very vague, but I don't want to give anything away with the book.
She also wrote...
Yeah, she has other books.
She wrote another book last year that was like a bestseller. A Starling House, which was a Reese's book club pick. And that book, people loved. Like, people bought that book and messaged me that day that they had finished it.
Wow.
Because that was a really good seller as a fantasy that's one book.
Oh, yeah.
Because people are like, I want to read fantasy, but I don't want to read 5 books. And I'd be
that's
like,
nice.
This is the gateway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, and this one too is standalone. So that's cool. I didn't know she had another one. And then this is totally out of left field, but I was feeling kind of like you, where I just wanted to read something different that wasn't even on my TBR. I just saw someone share I don't even know what you would classify it because it's not a biography. Anyway, it's called Who's That Girl? The Untold Definitive History of New Girl by Thea Glassman.
Cute.
And it's about the making of New Girl, the show. New Girl, the series, is something that my husband and I watched all the time. I've probably seen it like at least 2, maybe 3 times, just all the episodes on the way through. It's really funny. When it came out, it was pretty unique because Zooey Deschanel is the main character, and a lot of the ensemble cast stories were like men and women, and she was like the main, and then she has these 3 guy roommates. It was really fun and funny. And then I restarted watching New Girl because of all of the backstory that it made it even
so
better.
Much more fun, yeah.
So anyway, I recommend that if you've listened or watched New Girl. It's a very fun, and you hear all of these fun behind the scenes things that happen that were like, oh, this is why it was that. I loved it. It was great.
That's awesome.
Read that in a few days.
Okay.
That's what I finished recently. Currently, I restarted listening to The Spellshop by Beth Durst. And I was listening to it, just planning on like a re-listen so I could get further along in her other books. But then I liked it so much that I just stopped reading what I was reading. And I've been reading it physical copy and listening to it to just kind of get through it faster. I just love that world.
Yeah.
It's so cozy. It's so fun. There's talk about making jam, which we're heading into the fall, so it makes me want to make some jam. I just love it.
It just feels right.
It feels cozy and good. And then the other one, so I'm in the middle of reading Ballad of Falling Dragons still and Fury Bound, but I just stopped them to read the other books.
I love that.
That's where we're at.
Love that.
It feels like I haven't really done any reading, to be honest.
Yeah, I will. It's probably because this summer has been so busy where we have collectively, you and me we've had conversations where we've had 0 downtime where reading almost feels like we need to read. Mm-hmm. And we haven't had that opportunity to. And then there's a lot of people who've had plenty of time to read and have been like, I finished this. And so there's this like push and pull, I think, where in your head you think, oh, I haven't read enough. But to the average person, I like to remind myself that some people read like 5 books a year.
No, it's true. There was a statistic I saw the other day that's like 40% of Americans might read 2 books this year.
Yeah.
It's like totally not I mean, I don't even know if my husband's read 2 books.
I actually read just recently like a statistic thing on reading in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
None of the information even had fantasy reading stats in it. It was all for all the other genres.
Weird.
It was weird, but it was like an interesting statistical report considering they didn't have data from one genre, but they also didn't have any kids literature. They just had like historical fiction, autobiography, memoir, stuff like that. And it did not, there was not a lot of reading. That was like, if you throw fantasy in there, seems like you get a lot, but then are we in it? So it seems like there's a lot and there actually isn't?
I don't know. That's a good question, because once you kind of get into the zeitgeist, that's all you hear about, right? Like if you're looking for more murder mystery books, then you're going to hear about a lot of murder mystery.
Or if you want to buy a Chevy Colorado, that's all you see on the road kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Let's dive in.
Yes, let's dive in. Okay, I have my quick question for you before we dive into sharing. Do you want to tell about how this episode's going to go, though?
Yeah, so this episode's going to be a little bit different, which is, I think, fun. I like change. But you're an artist.
True.
And so I'm vacuuming my house and I'm like, Sherry, we need to talk about the art behind the books.
It's funny we haven't done that yet.
I feel like we have when we've talked to artists. It's kind of been a key point that we try to like focus on.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, there's so many times where I'm like, maybe it's always, I don't really know who did the cover for books. And that is literally like, but I think that artistic viewpoint is lost in general. Like who designed, if you're a car enthusiast, who designed the most modern, Chevy Corvette or Mach 3 or whatever, like same thing with books, but this is literally the packaging. Who did the packaging?
Yep.
And then we live right now in an AI time. And I'm going to say it. And if you're a listener, I want you to hear me with as much empathy as possible. If I see another ChatGPT ad
flyer,
I'm going to vomit. The flyers are like, we have lost creativity so bad to time.
Yeah.
We've stopped spending time to make something look pretty.
Not everybody.
No.
But you're right. You're seeing it around.
Seeing it around is an understatement.
Yeah, no.
Seeing it everywhere. It's so frustrating to me as someone who's creative. And I like, my thought is like, if you don't have the time to make the thing, maybe we've got to reevaluate your time.
Yeah.
Because and I've used chat before and chat has burned me so many times on like text things where it's spelled stuff wrong or whatnot that I'm like, I've got to stop feeding the system because it feels to me like every time I use it, it's like saying, it's okay that you're here. It's okay that you're here. And I'm just going to use chat for this. And I've used it and it's been phenomenal for plenty of things. But I think it's starting to get overused in areas where people are just accepting it. And the art aspect, art is already one of those things that I feel is a completely underappreciated thing. And so for me, I'm like, oh, don't take away the art.
Well, and it's the same thing that we're just talking about where, like, if you're not looking for it and you're not paying attention to it, it might not even be something that necessarily crosses your mind. Like, previously, before I really dove into graphic design and illustration on products, I wasn't thinking necessarily about the product design, about how even the tea box that something comes in is created by a person, by a company, to not only be something that's interesting and inviting and trying to hook you in to buy it, but also for the aesthetic purpose, or also it has a story told and it has this specific flower because this story behind it. Like there's so much to it that if you're not in it all the time, it's very easy to just kind of be like, oh yeah, that's pretty, whatever.
Yeah.
But even as someone who illustrates book covers, I don't look up who illustrated that unless it's a special edition, because special editions really call out the artist very clearly. But a lot of the mainstream books that are not special editions, you might not even be able to find it in the book itself, like who illustrated it. Or if you go online, like I think you have
I
quotes
have
on
quite
that
a
today,
few that we're going to talk about today that I couldn't find anything on them.
which is totally,
Which is their personal preference. And I could see like an artist being like, I don't want to be in the highlight. I just want to like do my craft. But I also want to like in my brain be like, acknowledge that there's someone behind this piece because I know how long it takes you to do a cover.
Mm-hmm.
I know how long it takes me to do like a simple piece of artwork, and that's not even good enough for print.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. There's a bunch of different genres and they have different sorts of art aspect on it. But even something as simple as a minimalist cover, I'm looking over at the bird cover over there. It's literally just two birds. They're two different colors. Even something as simple as that has so much research behind it, behind the colors, behind the shapes, behind the placement, behind the typography. Even something that's that simple is not something that's just slapped together, you know? But then you have something like the special editions that I've done. Can't say for everybody, but like some of them are 80 plus hours for all of the elements. So it is time consuming. But anyway, we're getting off track. My question that I was going to ask you was, as a bookstore owner, how much do you think that a book's cover actually influences whether someone picks it up in the store? Are there certain types of covers that maybe get more attention? Or do you think that most readers even stop to find out who the cover artist or designer is? You can take any of those questions and answer it however you want.
I would say, and Casey, correct me if I'm wrong, 85% of the time someone is going to have a deciding factor based on the cover.
Okay.
And I would say the other percentage of that is storyline. Because you could like a storyline and not like the book cover.
Okay.
And not want to read the book.
True.
You know what I mean? And I've seen people do that. I'll tell people, this is a great book. This is what it's about. Da, 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 da. And then they see the cover and they're like, they'll say, I don't like cartoons. Because I think the brain just, whether we want to admit it or not, our brains, whether or not we're art people that see it, our brains see something and go, I'm not attracted to that. It's like food. My husband always jokes about how he doesn't like British food because it's all ugly. But like, it's the same thing with books. Like,
it's really true.
Yeah. So we're in the novel section. We've got some poignant stories. A lot of these book covers are like really artistically driven versus these, which are cartoon. So you take a woman who I'm going to make a stereotype. She's in her late 60s. She was an English teacher. She, she's very smart. She loves classics, da, da, da. She's probably going to read Anne Patchett Whistler versus Abbey Jimenez. Right. Unless she loves these kind of things. These are her secret pleasure or whatnot like that. But certain people will pick a book based on their mood, their vibe, all that based on the cover. Yeah. So. I totally see that. And I gotta say, I'm a sucker for gold foil. So you put that in a book and I'm like, oh, I must read this.
I need to at least see what it's about.
Yeah.
I will put a book down though if I read like the blurb or the first page and it's just not automatically catching me, even if the cover is pretty. Like I won't just buy for a pretty cover.
Yeah, and that's why I say that's like the other 25%, right? But also, if let's say you read a ton of books, right? I know some people that'll read that, so they're willing to read a book even if the cover's bad. I know a lot of Kindle readers have kind of gone away from that because you don't see the cover. So that's one thing that's an interesting. So yeah. I mean, that's my personal opinion. I might be wrong. That's for sure.
It's your opinion as a bookshop owner.
Yeah. I mean, I think honestly, we sell a lot of books because of how much we face them out. Yeah. And we don't give any book more attention on the face out. We're constantly switching them around. Some are faced out more often than others, but I don't know.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's dive in. So we're going to talk about some books. I have 3. I know you have more than that.
Yeah, we picked out some books to kind of just highlight this ideology of like, hey, there's an artist behind the cover. And who are they and what they do and all that stuff. So do you want to go back and forth? You do one, I'll do one?
Sure.
Let's do that.
I will say, as someone who's very visual, this is a very visual podcast. So if you have a chance to look at it
on the
on
tube.
YouTube, but that would probably be good. But also we can
You can
link
also
the
Google.
books that we're gonna
yeah.
talk about so you can see what we're talking about. But I'm going to start. I've talked about this book many times. It's called The Spellshop by Beth Durst. I'm going to kind of put it up towards the camera, which you can kind of see. I am not going to lie. The title and the cover of this book brought me into where I had no idea what it was about. And I immediately was like, yep, that's great. I'm into it.
Yeah.
And then I read her work and I don't know. It's just perfect cozy fantasy, but the artwork is stunning. So we're going to talk about it. So I did a deep dive, one of those. And I actually just recently started rereading it. That's why I have my cute little bookmark in it. And let me say, this is an interesting book because it has both an artist and a designer. So the artist that is behind the Spellshop and her other two in the series, Sea of Charms and Enchanted Greenhouse, is a designer or an artist named Lulu Chen, and the designer is Ester Kim. And that's for the 2024 US cover. So there is a German cover that has the same art, but it has different typography on it, which is something that, like, I don't know if everybody really understands the difference between the artist versus the designer. So someone, Esther, she's not necessarily just receiving the finished artwork and putting it on and adding a title. She can also be involved in the concept development and the art direction and the composition, and then collaborating with the artist to make sure that it fits like the background of the cover as well. So it depends on the publisher and on the specific book itself. But in this case, the designer was working with the artist to make it all come to life, which is a fun thing. Some books I'll talk about in other situations have only a designer, or some books have only an artist. Designer is one person, and this is a duo thing. So fun facts. Okay, we're going to get into it because I just think this is so fun. So Lulu Chen, she's the SF? Yes.
San Francisco?
San Francisco. Why did I say SF?
She's from San Francisco. In California, and we do that. Yeah,
so she's from San Francisco. She describes herself as an animal lover and a dreamer. She loves children's book illustrations. She has an Instagram account where she does a bunch of animation.
Oh, cute.
Fun fact, her current bio lists Spider-Verse 2 along with the Spellshop. And she's also an award-winning filmmaker, which is like really cool. So if you have a chance, we're gonna include this stuff in the show notes because it's just really fun. Check out her Instagram because she has really fun animations on there. But she just has a really cool style. She also was a finalist in a competition to illustrate a new edition to Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne-Jones.
Yeah, that was such a beautiful book.
So I have a Guardian article that shows her. She was a finalist in it. I don't know if she got picked, but her artwork for that, which is just really cool. So I thought that was really fun. And then Ester Kim, she works with the publishing company. She's been a tour designer, and we don't have any sources about what exactly she did for this Spellshop cover, but her work generally shows that she's like much more involved, which is really cool that she's kind of working with the publisher and doing all of this, kind of like an art director.
Yeah.
She said that she's a senior designer at Tor Books. And what else? Oh, I have my other fun fact is that Spellshop, this cover in particular, won 3rd place in the Lovely Books Community Awards in Germany for Best Book Cover, which is kind of fun. It was also nominated for another award, but I forgot to write that down.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my first pick. I just think if you look at her artwork, you will fall in love with her. She's really cozy, just like the cover.
I'd love to point out the fact too, if you're looking. So it says the Spellshop at the base of these steps. When you write the word in German, it becomes either longer or shorter. And so the placement of those letters has to shift, has to change, has to be rearranged. And it's the same with all the other text that's on there. And the other cool thing that you don't see, but you can feel when you have the book is that it has that, what do they call that?
There's a name for it and I know it, but I don't remember.
So Beth Durst is basically popped up. So when you run your fingers across it, it's popped up. That's like an intentional design thing. And the Spellshop is inlaid, and that's an intentional design thing. So it's little fun things like that that I think are really unique. And there's some even pictures too where you can take your cover and twist it, and that's how it's able to reflect the light. The cool thing about this is it really reminds me of a Thomas Kincaid.
Oh, totally.
The paint the light ideology where you just see the sunlight coming
the dappled
through
sun in it.
the garden in that one.
And this, so not in this one, but I did have this written down too. She also was, Ester was a designer on a book called Overgrowth by Mira Grant. And she said that, like, the concept there, the book's called Overgrowth, so obviously lots of plants, but she said the concept began with the idea of the earth being overtaken by plants, and she made, like, a visual direction of a claw-like plant holding the vulnerable earth before working with an artist to refine it. So the artist did it, but she, like, brought this concept to life in her head.
Okay.
And I was noticing in here, if you can see on this cover, the branches kind of look like their hands coming out. They're coming towards it. So there's those visual directions that the designer, the cover director, art director might encourage the artist to make, even though the artist is the one doing it.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of fun. Anyway, so that's kind of an example of a very good, I think, duo.
Absolutely.
A cover. So tell me about one of yours.
Okay, so I'm going to get us started with something kind of shorter.
Yeah.
I chose some popular, well-known authors. So Abbey Jimenez, Jessica, who's our thriller lover, says she loves these covers, which is funny because a lot of people have told me they don't like any cartoon art, where this is a very poppy cover.
Yeah.
She is a recent popular author. So Abbey Jimenez has not been around for a long, long time.
Yeah.
She started out as a cake decorator. So when she got into writing, so her first few books were published in paperback, which is another interesting fact, which probably also means that there was not a large budget for this book's publication. But it says that for her covers, which I think she has a total of 6 books now, a gal named Sarah Congdon is the designer and illustrator. She's in North America, as well as Carrie Resnick. And both of them are very hard to find on the internet. So there's not a lot of information regarding either of these artists. But I also think it's a unique segue into the next book I'm going to talk about, because these are simple yet cute, playful. Like, this is just like not like that. Spellshop is a very intricate art piece. This is not intricate because the yellow is important. The contrast of the blue, the color combination of things, and the white, and just how everything is placed. But it's also just a simple, cute book. But I also feel like that reflects these storylines really well. So that was just interesting. And it was funny because I was trying to deep dive. And I looked her up in so many different ways and couldn't find her. And I was like, what is the deal? Where is this person?
We need to know more.
But also respect. That I feel like if you are doing artwork for an author that is now so popular, you could easily be found. But the fact that she's not, I love that. I kind of love that.
You just segued into my next book, so too.
Okay, go.
Oh,
that was it, because that's the fun thing, is like, it was almost like, okay, this is hard to find, but also I want to show everybody something. Let's see if this book does it for us. I highly encourage people to open the publisher page in your book. So if you've never done this before, there is so much information, and you can figure out if you have a first edition, second edition, all this stuff. You can figure out who published the book, when it was published, all sorts of stuff. But it says cover design. This one's Elizabeth Turner Stokes, who is not mentioned. So this must be. And then illustrator, Jenny Caro. So my deep dive was just on Abbey Jimenez books in general. And this is like the individually published book. So it tells us everything. And it's by Hatchet Group. So I could do a deeper dive into these two artists, but what my look was like, who designed. And so it says that she's the designer of many of the signature vibrant illustrated covers for North America.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, funny story.
Hit me up.
My next book was going to be People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. And so what I found online, which can be obviously clearly wrong
for instance, right?
The 2021 US edition of People We Meet on Vacation, which is not this that I am showing, this is the Netflix movie version of it, is both the cover art and the design by someone named Sandra Chu. She goes by Sanny. She's a New York City native, and she's a book cover designer at Penguin Random House, who also does illustration. So she's in-house, which is something that's different than, say, like somebody who's doing the illustration and they're just working with the publisher. But she supposedly, according to my research, which could be wrong now, she supposedly created like the Emily Henry look, the visual identity that we associate with Emily Henry, which is like a cartoon character type style, like this. Now, the funny thing is I was just opening this up. This is not the People We Meet on Vacation, but the Great Big Beautiful Life book, for those of you who are not on YouTube. That style...
This came out last year, too, so it's one of her newer.
So the style supposedly was by Sandra Chu and the illustration of the Emily Henry books, but that page says it's by somebody else.
It says it's by Allison Knockert.
Yeah. I was looking at her actual website.
Okay.
Like I have Sandra Chu's website.
Yeah.
So she's designed covers for Nora Goes Off Script, Sophie Cousins, The Good Part, and This Time Next Year. Some really fun Jane Austen covers, which is funny because you were just doing
so funny.
redesigns for that. We have her website, sandrachu.com, but she has a ton of ones. I don't know if I saw that one up there, so it might have been her illustration and the design was done by somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't know. But basically, she has a really cool story. She started working at Penguin as a department assistant around 2010, and she worked her way up, and now she's like so well known as one of the leading practitioners of contemporary book cover design.
That's awesome.
So the fun fact is, for People We Meet on Vacation, they liked the cover that she illustrated and designed so much that Netflix actually decided to adapt it and said that he wanted the movie to end by recreating the book cover. So the final scene, which is what's on the front of this book cover, was actually staged to look like her illustration. That was just like
her idea.
Hand-drawn illustration, which is so fun that they also now have that as the book cover for the movie. But they also even designed the costumes in the movie around her book cover.
That's awesome. It's so true to her work.
So fun.
Yeah.
I just thought that was fantastic. I'm very confused because it was supposed to be my example of somebody being both the illustrator and the designer. Yeah. And then the designer in this later book is not the same. But
this is fun, though, because honestly, like, this just shows you, like, we did a little bit of research, how much research could be done and how much information, like, even for me, for Abbey Jimenez, I'm like, wait a second, right? Yeah. I did some internet research, but this is just, like, a true statement of the book does it better. The research.
Yeah, they're important.
Books are important. And also printed books because they can't change it.
I know.
They can change this edition from the next edition.
Yeah.
So
don't get Lauren also like on her conspiracy.
my research can be wrong.
No,
which is fun.
Same. Yeah.
I don't
know.
I
think that's fun. So tell me another of yours.
The next one I have is a famous
Fourth Wing.
Okay, so this one's kind of fun because this is book 1. This is not fully, I feel like this has got to be like a second print. But I could be wrong again. Let's see. Now I'm going to fact check myself. So good. Okay. My facts are correct. Okay. So cover artist is a gal named Bree Archer. And I got her Instagram account. So I hopped into her thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like she's done a ton.
Yeah.
And if you're a fantasy reader, you're going to recognize some of these names. Heavenbreaker by Sarah Wolf. 5 Broken Blades by Mia Cortland. We have it in store. And these are also top in New York reading. Bodyguard by Cece Robinson. The Wren and the Holly Library by K.A. Lind. Okay, so they're ones I recognize as like bookseller.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they are New York Times bestseller books, but like a lot of people haven't heard of them, or maybe like they're popular in an area and they're not. So she's done it in collaboration with Elizabeth Turner Stokes, who we know because she did a stage set for Villains.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun. So they've worked on that together.
That's
and
super fun.
Elizabeth Turner Stokes has done a ton of other covers and whatnot. So she's done a stage. She's done a slew of other titles. I didn't want this podcast to go on forever because I probably could have named them off. But I think that one of the funnest things is when you go onto Bree's thing.
Yeah.
You can go onto her social media, and this is like, you can scroll down not very far, and you're in her 21 era of book publishing, of making covers, and you can literally see how this book catapulted her career into doing bigger books.
Wow.
And it's funny because there's a post in 2021 and it says, book cover reveal. Congratulations, Rebecca Yarros, on this new book. This is a book about dragons,
Oh my gosh.
And it, to me, is so,
Yeah.
it gives me chills because it's one of those moments in time that's been captured where nobody had a clue how big this fandemonium would be.
Yeah.
I'm going to a baseball game in 2 weeks that is for this at the San Francisco Giants.
You are?
Like, we're getting a sweater and stuff like that. But
Fun.
it's just so fun to me, too, because, you know, you see these authors that, you know, even Abbey Jimenez, like, I don't want to say she's super fortunate because she writes a wonderful book, but she hasn't written a lot of books. We talked to Camilla Isley, and she's written like 32 books.
Oh, yeah.
And she hasn't seen the fandemonium of this. It's just so fascinating to me to see like where society catapults things. And then Elizabeth Turner Stokes, I encourage you guys to go check out her social media. Excuse me, because she has so many amazing book covers and she's done so much artwork. Her website link, like we've looked her up when we did stage, but the stage cover is probably still one of my favorites based on the amount of intricate detail. And she's done things where she'll talk about in the other books how there's runes, there's the dragons, and you can see the smoke and how all of these details that look not important are important. And so like this book is also shiny, very important for her to have the dragons on the side, and each of the dragons is an important dragon. It's just a very
there's so much in it.
That one's fun. That was a kind of a fun little nugget to cross. So that's my next one.
I love it.
And if you don't know this about her books, it goes Fourth Wing, and then if you stack the books together, it goes Iron Flame. The top of the book is red, and then it starts to turn black, and then Onyx Storm is black, and it starts to turn smoky. And so I think with our next book, we're going to see
smoky to something
else. It's kind of like
maybe it'll be gold.
It's interesting though. It's like a telling of itself, of what's happening and where we're going with the story, because she knows where we're going with the story, which is a great segue for your next
How do you do this?
I don't know.
You're just so good, because my next thing is, not only is it important for one book, but to be able to carry it across a series. Okay.
Which is
Fourth Wing, incredible. I love the storytelling, the way that you do. And there's so much that, like, I don't think people understand. So I've had a chance to do special editions for Gump and Sunshine Bookshop, where we started with one, but we knew when we were designing it that it was going across a series of books so that they all had some connection. So we had the color palette picked out from the very beginning. We had the general design, the general idea of how are we switching this with different books. Some cases, I don't know, not everybody knows they're going to get a next book, but like that one clearly looks so well planned out that it's just fascinating to me. Okay, so my next series of books.
But also, like, what if your book tanks?
What if your book tanks? Then they never see the next in the series. That's just how it is. So these, I'm holding up the Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon. You can see all the pretty colors. You can see the front of it on YouTube. But basically, for people who are not seeing it, it's very minimalist. There are some floral details in the corners, a really nice serif script, and they're what seems to be very... You want one?
I'll take one.
They're what seems to be very, like, just kind of primary colors that maybe you would think, oh, they don't really have anything to do with anything. You would be wrong. Friends, you would be wrong. Okay. I'm going to make this quick, but I have so much information because I love it.
We can
so
also
fun.
drop a bunch of this extra info in the show notes.
Yes. Okay. So, like I just said, it's very restrained for modern fiction. There are solid colors. There's ornamental framing. But it looks a lot like journals, which is fun because it's a journal, unselected journals. If you haven't read the series, we've talked about it plenty of times. It's great. Listen to another episode and I'll give you a full lowdown. Anyway, so the original series began in 2019. Beth Brower, the author of these books, actually owns her own publishing company called Resident Press. Her sister, fun fact, her sister edits her work. Her brother-in-law designs the book covers, which is like just fun that it's a family affair. Now, she also has 13 novels published through that route, including the 8 Lion ones. There's going to be plenty more, but she has confirmed that the U.S. editions will continue to use the original Rise and Press covers.
Thank you.
Which is so exciting for us who have them.
Yes.
That those ones will be the same cover design.
I have so many questions.
There is UK version designs, and that one actually was done UK, Australia, and New Zealand with Bloomsbury, so traditional publishing. Bloomsbury took on the Lions stuff, and it's an artist that's named David Mann. So we have his website, so I'll put it up there too. But if you go to davidmandesign.co.uk, he has a design of a book called Circe by Madeline Miller, and it's gold, and it is stunning. And I don't even care what it's about, but I want to read it because it's so
Circe?
pretty. Yeah. But it's funny because his Lion ones are just totally different than the original, right? So they have this combo of illustration and typography and this new look on them for the UK versions, which we don't have, which is fine. But Beth Brower, like apparently knew of him beforehand and just fell in love with him. And so it's like got its own thing. So today I'm just going to be talking about the US version, but if you haven't seen the UK versions, there is a whole lot of info on that out there. So here's the fun fact. You think those colors mean nothing, but they mean
something.
Everything. So she came out and said with the book 3, volume 3, which is this yellow color. She's like, oh, well, this is a soft, summery yellow. And she said it's just perfect for the final days of summer. And so there's a seasonal feeling of color across the books, that the color of it might have something to do with the season that she's in. But more so, and even more fun, if you've read the books, the characters each have a color, which is so fun. Okay, so if you haven't read the series, this is not a spoiler, but if you have read the series, this is really fun. So I'm just going to go
I'm just reading over Sherry's shoulder.
Okay, Emma is sea green, which is like the sea green and aqua, which is book 1 and book 2, which we have. Her eyes are sea green, and then gold is her secondary color, which is really fun. Pierce is this cool slate gray color, which is his kind of story aesthetic. He's just slate gray, stormy eyes, which is funny. Hawks is tied to blue, which is the color of lapis lazuli, morning sky, and his favorite drawing room cushions.
Lapis lazuli! Sorry, if you have children with Minecraft.
Yes. Is it? No, I'm not saying it right. Islington? How do I say this word? Oh my gosh, friends, don't hate me. I know these books. I've read all of them, but I don't.
Well, it's Islington or Islington.
Islington?
I feel like you're not supposed to.
Now I'm not saying it right.
I don't know. I actually am listening to the audiobook, should I? So try to know, but I can't do it right now. My brain.
Well, fun fact, he is a shade of green. Take that with what you want.
Grain of salt. Now you're just going to look at the book covers.
And Arabella, which is another character, is a soft pink, and Perian is lavender, which just makes me happy because he has lavender painted floorboards, or not floorboards. What are those things called?
Yeah.
In his room.
Okay,
Whatever.
So we're not changing the covers, which is great because they came out with another cover. And we were thinking that was going to be...
You were thinking the UK version was going to be what they're doing for US?
This version.
Yeah.
Specifically. This isn't even UK. That's Spanish.
Oh, well, that's the UK designer.
Okay.
And she said that she's confirmed that these are going to stay for
I love
the rest of
that.
the joints.
That's great, you guys. That means I was wrong, and everyone.
But
can
I
just
could
take
also
a
be
breather.
wrong. Hold on. Just hold your breath. We'll see.
You know what? I say you and me will just send a little letter, an email
Yeah.
to Beth Brower,
Yeah.
and let her know that it's very
We need to
important that
have
we talk
these.
to her.
All these people. Well, okay, but this is great because I know you have another book, but it is something that is on my rapid fire today to go to talk about. Like, there was something that my brain just, matching series covers or each book having its own look. Like, if you have a series and you have 8 books, do you want them all to match? Like, if number 9 comes out with that other, is it going to ruin your series?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you okay with it?
Yeah.
I know how Lost Books of Just would answer this.
And I am with full agreement of Lost Books of
Right?
Just. Yeah, because life is too short to
Yeah.
worry about covers matching. But I understand some of you cannot stand it. And
I
that
get
is
it
okay.
too. Some people really, really hate it. But anyway, I'm still going to get it.
I only get annoyed as a seller.
True.
Because I've had people come in and I'll have an entire series and they'll find something wrong with it. And sometimes I actually don't get to choose how it comes. I'm ordering it and it's kind of like an I get what I get scenario.
Right.
And so I get frustrated because I've now invested in that and I can't get it to sell. So sometimes we send it back or whatnot, but it is frustrating because it just is, some people love it that way. And that's your home, your bookshelf, whatever. I'm with Lost Books of Just, though, where I also feel a connection to the book, like, that I've physically read. Like, to me, it's that I go back to that first episode where we talked about...
You remember what we talked about in our first episode?
Yeah, because it's the guy from Peaky Blinders.
Oh, yeah.
And his grandfather. And
book,
to me, I have that true feeling with many of my books. I can actually see books. I know who got them for me, where I got them. I know the story behind the book, and I think that's really fun. Okay, so anyways.
Tell me your last one.
Last one.
Unless you have more than last
one.
one.
And I did this because of Jess and also Lynn Painter, but these cartoons, she's like, Lauren, I love the cartoons, because I was asking her, I was like, what book should we use for this? So Lynn Painter... This is nothing like the movies. If you haven't read Lynn Painter, honestly, she's our high schoolers' favorite author.
Oh, cool.
Whether they'll admit it or not, they're constantly like messaging me. Yes, our high schoolers message me and they tell me I'd like to pre-order a book. And I feel so cool because I love them. I'm going to fact check myself. Yep. Cover illustration by Liz Casal. Cover design by Sarah Creech. Based on designs by Heather Palsy. So a lot of Lynn Painter's books are very similarly designed, written, very much the same thing. They're not the same story, but they're across the board, similar artwork, similar patterns, similar the blocky writing. This book, you can't see it, but you're not going to see it, but unless you're holding it, each of the pictures has like...
I remember.
What is this called?
I looked it up. It's called Spot UV.
Okay.
Or Gloss UV.
Okay.
So they put a gloss on that, and the rest of it's matte. So it has its own standout.
Yeah, it kind of makes it visually appealing.
Yeah.
So the three of them frequently collaborate on these together, which I think is really cool because it also is a testament to the teamwork that is involved in something. This is a book that's not only artistically done by one person, but by multiple people. Yeah. And I think even when you get into an artistic element, it's hard to be creative because people are opinionated. And so I just think it's really awesome that they've all been able to work together and continue to work together with this author. I think it tells a story of not only just like the beauty of the work, but also a friendship, whether that's true or not. But to me, in my heart, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like these 3 women, including the author, are able to come together to make these pieces come together. So I'm not going to talk too much more. I really want to encourage our listeners to go grab a few books that they love. They love the artwork. Open up to the publisher page, read who did the cover work, and go. If you truly love a book, go follow the artist as well and give them some love. And if they're hidden, chef's kiss to the hidden artists out there too. So yeah, that's all I have for my books.
Cool.
Hopefully that encourages some people. I think
love
it was fun.
I made some specific to this episode rapid fires.
Ooh, okay. I have some rando questions.
Okay. Mine have to do with talking about today.
Okay.
So we're going to go. Do you prefer illustrated covers or photography?
Illustrated.
Okay. People on the cover or no people?
No people.
Minimalist or maximalist?
Both.
I love that. Okay. Are we going bright and colorful or dark and moody? Or both?
Both.
Do you like hardcover or do you prefer hardcover or paperback?
I prefer hardcover.
What about with the dust jacket on or a beautiful naked hardcover?
Naked hardcover.
Love. Do you like, if you had to choose, would you have sprayed edges or illustrated end papers?
Illustrated end papers.
For people who don't know books, the edges are like the paper of the book, and the end papers are when you open the book and there's like.
It feels like a
artwork.
surprise.
Yeah, it does feel like.
I also feel like it's so much more. My favorite by far has to be the one that Dr. Hartford just read. With
I haven't read that
the
yet.
horses. Kissed by the Gods.
Yes, Kissed by the Gods.
Yeah.
That face, I was like, I don't know what to do with that.
I was seeking your brain for information.
Okay, 2 more. Vintage inspired or modern?
Vintage.
Original or movie tie-in cover?
Original.
Yeah. Although this is pretty fun that they tied in the movie cover to the original.
Okay, I will say that, but
That's
as a
fun.
seller,
I agree. Yeah.
people who are also collectors, which I feel like our customer base is a lot of collectors. Like, people want the special editions. I think we have less people that are like, can I have the hardback? Than we do people that are like, I want the hardback with the special edition.
Right.
People don't love the TV.
movie ones.
Yeah, the movie ones. They don't like it. I've brought them in before and they've just sat there and
That's true. I like, for example, I've read Bridgerton maybe 3 or 4 times. I do not want the one with the actors on it.
Yeah, I've got a collector set of Bridgerton.
You do. They're beautiful.
They're gorgeous. That's going to be someone's Christmas present this year.
Yep.
I don't know who, but anyways. Okay, do you want my wild question?
I do want your wild questions. Let's go.
Okay, I was like trying to think of something off the wall because, the girls are always looking for a different question.
Yeah.
So instead of a this or that, I was kind of like, okay.
You're going to make it really hard on me.
If you could relive an ordinary day,
okay,
which would you pick?
That's so hard.
My son asked me this question.
Okay, this is going to be really random, and the first thing that came to my mind was just this last Saturday, to be honest, because we made a spontaneous decision to go drive up to Lodi Lake and go kayaking as a family, and everyone had fun. It was the greatest day. We had a picnic up there. We decided to go over to Bass Pro, got the kids some little hats. We decided to drive around. It was a full day adventure that was totally spontaneous, not planned until literally 9 a.m. that morning.
Yeah.
I would relive it. It was great.
I love that.
It was wonderful.
We did something like that last week on Tuesday. We did Pinecrest.
Fun.
At 10 o'clock, I was like, hey, Bake, you want to go to Pinecrest tomorrow? And he was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I told Eddie, I was like, we're going to Pinecrest. And Brea's always on board. So
yeah,
I love that.
That's so fun. I like it.
Okay. Something random you're good at.
That's so hard for me. I don't know.
Okay, we can come back to it. You can tell us on the next episode.
Oh, hair braiding. I'm really good at hair braiding.
Oh.
Yeah. I used to be the girl on my soccer team growing up. I did club soccer. And I would do
everybody's hair
now, but cornrows or braids or whatever. And then I would do people's hair for prom.
Oh my gosh.
Instead of going to a hair salon.
I could kind of see this though.
That was kind of a thing.
I love that.
That's random.
Okay, we're gonna have to have a braiding party.
Okay.
I
had it. Wait, there's more. There's more.
Wait, there's more.
There was a thing during COVID where I was feeling really sad, so I decided to come up with Hair Braid Thursday, and I just do my hair in a different braid every Thursday. It was so random.
Okay, you must bring this back.
But it was really fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Okay. I love it. You got to bring it back.
Okay.
Bring it back. Do it on your stories. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. If your life had a warning label, what would it say? I told you random questions. I went deep.
Has lots of energy but tires out.
Okay.
Needs some alone time.
Needs alone time at random.
After being too social. Yep.
Okay. If we were stuck on a road trip together for 12 hours, which we know would be circling around the local area, where would you insist we stop?
I love a good lookout point.
Okay.
I also love a good ice cream shop if it has something I can eat. Those are my two.
Okay, I'll look
I also
up.
like souvenir places, but not really like the souvenir places. Like our Oakdale Cheese Factory, they have souvenirs, but they're unique souvenirs.
Yeah.
It's not just the
You can
printed
find it
on.
in any town kind of thing. Yeah. Okay.
I like that kind of stuff.
I love it.
I want
That's
to know
it.
yours. What's yours?
Where would I? A
Any of
good
them.
coffee shop.
The good coffee shop.
A bougie where they roast their own beans.
Yeah.
Maybe the guy's wearing a fedora.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta have my good
business coach,
coffee.
he always wears a fedora.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. All right.
I
So
like it.
do you have anything coming up that we should tell the world about?
Oh, I do, but it's not announced yet, so I can't.
Okay. We have a Kinusag, I'm saying it wrong, Kinusaga workshop, which is a fabric class, but we're also partnering with a local restaurant. They're going to be hosting the food for that, which is great. So if anyone wants to sign up for that, we've got story time after morning market here at the bookshop. We've got some local authors that are coming in to do story time. So that's fun. And then we've got some exciting things coming this fall. So look forward to that.
And we've got book club on the 20th.
Yep, book club.
And I think that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, we also have book club as well in September on the 3rd. So yeah. And if anyone has any suggestions, we have a couple potential interviews that are going to be coming up. But if you have any suggestions for interviews or things, or tell us some of your favorite cover illustrators in the comments.
Yeah. Or tag us.
Tag us and let us know.
It would be fun to see people sharing the artists behind the artists.
Yeah.
Because we call authors artists too. But yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
So.
Okay, cool.
Until next time.
Well, thanks for spending time with us. Yeah. Happy reading.
Happy reading.
Bye.
That's fun.